Good evening, everyone. Well, let's make sure we're on. Good evening, everyone. I hope y'all are having a great evening. We're going to be bringing more people in as we go along, but unfortunately, mm, StreamYard is a taskmaster. It likes you. Well, I shouldn't say StreamYard. It's actually Facebook is what the problem is. Facebook has got it set up so that, well, basically, sorry, I was reading something as it came in. But anyway, Facebook's got it set up so if you start 10 minutes late, Facebook just kicks you off. They're like, nah, screw you. You don't need to be here. Bite me and all that wonderful stuff. It's been kind of a strange thing, but And then when I got home today, I noticed everything was down. We had a major storm come through last night, so of course everything and its mama went down today. The station, but it's a bitch because it only takes a flicker of power to do it. It doesn't take a lot. I mean, usually it's just a little flicker of power, like a couple of milliseconds outage, but that's plenty enough to make the system reset. And if you're not here immediately, it only partially resets, which kind of bites, but at least somebody's hearing it out there. But anyway, we're back to being reset right now, and I'm sending invites to all the hosts we're going to invite on tonight. It has been a little bit of a strange week, so we'll see how this goes. Like I said, it's been a strange week. Or a strange last week. This week so far has been just a little on the odd side, but it looks like all we're going to do is get rain nonstop for the next few days. I think they said Thursday afternoon the rain is supposed to end here in New Orleans. So until then, it should be a nightmare. Okay, why don't I see anything? Okay, there we go. Sorry, I got lost amongst the invites there. Wait, where'd it go? Sorry, I keep losing. Keep losing windows. I don't know what the hell's up with that. Okay, where was I going next? Let's get that one. Throw that one in there. And let's see who's up next. Okay. I don't know who that is. Sorry, that's a weird person. All right. Anyway, how's everybody tonight? I just wanted to talk about tonight ghosties and stuff like that. Why can't I see myself? I'll be on the other computer a little while. This one is just here for giggles. Yeah, there I am. I'm using this one right now because the other one's rebooting itself, I guess, because of the storm today. But there's been a lot of strange stuff been going on lately, and I get all these people who write to me about this ghost stuff, this demon stuff, demons and ghosties and demons. I'm like, I'm not the biggest ghosty demon guy in the world, and I always like to pick on them. So, it's not demons, it's extraterrestrials. When in fact, it probably isn't. I mean, there are definitely ghosties running around on the planet or something out there. I don't know, ghosties. I don't exactly know what you would call them. We put these labels on stuff, and we do this a lot. I mean, all sorts of parts of our life. We put these different labels on where well, that's a ghost, that's a demon. But how do you know it's a ghost? How do you even know where it came from? Did it come from the other side? Did it come from this side? Is it something that didn't make it across? I mean, what the hell is actually causing this? It always bothers me when we talk about these things because I really want to know what it is that's making these ghosts. I mean, is this a soul left behind? Is it some kind of weird energy? Is it something entirely different that we just don't understand yet? Because, really, it could be any of this stuff. Whoa, that's scary looking. Sorry, I see my lovely face over there, and it scared me for just a minute there. It did. No, it scared me pretty good. Hold on. Let me put that where I can see it. Yeah, well, it's just me in here, but let me see. Okay, I can see that. Let me see this. Okay, yeah, now I can see everything. Yay, there we go. Well, no, I wanted to be able to see this chat room. Hold on. So I want to be able to see this chat room. And I want to be able to see this chat room, which is the Facebook chat room. There we go. There we go. There we go. A lot of weirdness has been going on lately. That's Horseshoe Chronicles come up next. Actually, I didn't even send Julia and Phil an invite. I'll have to do that in the next few minutes. But just a lot of stuff, weirdness has been going on. I mean, I get all these weird reports. Like the other day, so we've got like 5 listeners in North Korea, by the way. Yeah, I don't know who they are. It's got to be somebody in the upper echelon because really and truly, who else can listen Who else? Hey, it's Sean. What you doing, Sean?
Hey, Joe, what's up, buddy?
I just sent
How
you an
are you?
invite, and I was just talking paranormal ghosty stuff. I said, let me send Sean an invite. And
Oh, wow, cool. Thank you.
I was just I was just throwing invites out as I go along and seeing what's up. So how you been, man?
Doing okay. Doing okay.
Yeah.
Um, Enjoying the paranormal world. That's what I'm doing.
Yes. Yeah, I've been doing it
Hell yeah.
myself lately. It seems to be a little strange. We've been getting a lot of requests for different kind of shows. Somebody asked me the other day, he said, well, y'all got a lot of paranormal shows. I said, no, not really. I said, if you're going to list them as paranormal, I said, technically is three or four, maybe. There might be four. Let's see. Because technically, Sean Graham isn't paranormal. He does whatever the hell he wants. There's no telling what he's going to talk about. Y'all are paranormal, but y'all not always paranormal. But the majority of the time,
No.
you're paranormal. Horsefly Chronicles, they're paranormal. The Outer
Mhm.
Realm, they go back and forth, so then they're not really paranormal.
Right.
Dell's not paranormal. Now Michael is. He does paranormal news. He does red pill news and paranormal news. So I guess technically he's paranormal. So that's three. Let's see. Tim Banal's not. John Greenwald's not. Veritas isn't. Um, I think that's it right now. I think there's only three
Yeah.
paranormal shows on the network. So, no, guys, no, we're not heavy. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's been times in the past where we've had 10, 12, 15 of them running around. And
Right.
you got bored going from one show to the next show to the next. Because let's be honest, we've had some big names on. Remember when the Taps crew was on? So
Yeah, I remember.
they were circulating through our network, right? So 5 different hosts had them. So I told everybody, I did the same thing for Travis Walton because he was with 5 different hosts. I said, look, before y'all bring these guys on or these ladies on, why don't y'all get together and line out y'all's questioning so each host has got a different line of questioning so it doesn't sound like, the repeat of the show before it.
Right.
They did really good. Jason and Grant were really happy. Travis Walton was really happy because the shows went off. And then we had the 3 of them on because Travis went and did a gig with Grant and Jason somewhere. And so we even had them there on. I have no idea what that was about. That's another weird thing. But and a good friend of mine, Tuesday Miles, is who hooked me up with them. Tuesdays knew everybody who was anybody in the field. She's got me the last interview with now I can't remember his name. The old white-headed guy from the Queen Mary. Why
Oh,
can't
okay. I know you're talking about. I
Yeah, I
can't
can't think
think
of
of
his
the
name.
name.
Yeah, but we got his last. He died like 2 weeks after. We've got several interviews where somebody died within 2 weeks of the interview, so we got their last interview. It's kind of
Wow.
it's kind of creepy. Hey, Michelle, it's kind of
Hey,
creepy.
Michelle. How are you, Michelle?
Actually, oh, yeah, yeah,
Yoo-hoo.
Sean, Michelle, yeah, y'all know each other. How am I doing? Um, but it's kind of creepy when. So currently, we've had 7 hosts die in the network and 14 guests that we got their last interviews.
Wow.
It's kind of creepy, and when you go through as many people as we do, I understand that's going to happen, but it still creeps me out a little bit. I'm always waiting for some weird EVP or something, or some anomaly where one of them's talking through the screen. Oh, Joe, we're still here, asshole. No, no, go away, go away, go away.
That will be me to you.
Don't be around here. Go away, go away.
Hey,
Just
Joe.
me.
Question to
Uh,
ask you, buddy. Joe, I have a question to ask you, or Michelle. During the live broadcast and when you play it back, do you ever get an EVP on it? Or do you
Oh,
ever
we
hear
do
any?
all the time,
Yes.
man. Oh my
Do you?
God. And some
Yes.
shows, for some reason, some shows are riddled with them.
Okay.
Some shows you might not even hear one. Some you might hear one or two weirdnesses. Some shows, like this was I forgot who it was. It was Bigfoot and the Bunny. Somebody. Anyway, they were doing an EVP show. So the first hour was, it couldn't have been Bigfoot because they were only 1 hour. So the first hour was all their own EVPs. The second hour was them talking about their EVPs without playing him. So I'm listening to the show, and I'm listening to the second hour, and I'm like, well, I thought they weren't playing the EVPs. Man, there must have been 50 of them in here. So I called them up. I said, what the hell happened? They said, well, Joe, you were controlling the audio, not us. And I was thinking about it, so we sat and listened to it they were all over the place. I mean, they were weird stuff. One of them said there was something he was talking about, and you could hear it in the background. No, you're wrong. That's not what it is. And then
Hmm.
later on,
Wow.
that same voice comes up. No, I told you were wrong. This is what it is. And I was like, and then somebody wrote to me and said, well, who was that? I said, hell, I know. I wasn't even in front of the computer. I said, the systems are locked. I said, once we go live, the systems are locked so no audio can get in from anywhere. And,
Wow.
because,
It's
I
weird.
shut,
People message me regularly and say, I heard something come through your audio at this specific time, and I'll I'll tag it and send it to Joe, or they'll say we see things moving, and that's
Yeah,
a
well,
haunted house.
there's always something moving behind me, Michelle. So I just
Yeah,
don't.
I know,
I just ignore that now. Her and the guy that comes on with all the dolls. Every time he comes on this network,
Oh,
I've never interviewed
ugh,
him personally.
it's a
Okay,
doll thing.
I've
I
never
hate
interviewed the
dolls.
guys.
Me
Oh no,
too.
I'm with
Me
y'all on
too.
this. So he'll be sitting there with like 50 dolls. Now all these dolls supposedly have been exercised, and you'll see the doll be like looking at you like this, right? And all of a sudden it goes,
No, I
and then
haven't.
you're like, "Excuse me, doll?
Nah, you know what,
Uh-uh.
Joe? Check this out, right? I can go to the most demonic house out there and investigate it. Not a problem, okay? But you put me in a house full of dolls or a room full of dolls, I'm done.
All
Dolls
those
and
little
clowns.
eyes staring
That's
at
just
you. Is
Oh,
that what it
Jesus.
is?
yeah,
They are creepy.
I don't
that's
like
a
dolls
creepy.
either.
that's a phobia that abductees have. They hate dolls, and not just any. They hate all dolls. Plus, if it's like Raggedy Andy, them big ones, they
No.
really or clowns, they really hate them too for some reason.
Not that I hate them. It's
I
just
hate
that
clowns.
it's just weird that a doll it's just like a little person just be doing weird ass crazy
Yeah.
stuff. And it's just
Well, I'm sure
no.
some of my sister's dolls
No.
are probably possessed. I used to cut their fingers off, hang them out the windows of the car, throw them down the
Just a
interstate at
sicko.
80 mile.
What's
Because my
wrong with
sister,
you?
because my sister was evil. She was evil. She was
Oh,
Satan incarnate.
now we know.
Her, oh God, I'd like Steph, stop. She wants to throw your window out. The baby tend to live out the window. No, you won't do it. Out it went. We're doing 80. She's screaming down the highway. I'm like, oh my God, why did I do that? And I had to go back and get the damn dog. I'm like, she
Getting
turned out
some
pretty good
karmic
though.
stuff, I'd say.
Yeah.
I used to torture her all the time. Her and my aunt cousin used to drive me crazy, and I would put ghosties in the house for them. Say, look, here's a ghostie. Actually, I don't think them two are scared of anything. There may be aliens, but otherwise than that, they're not real scary. But when you grow up in New Orleans, it's part of. I mean, first off, we do haunted houses. Like, people in other states will do like a haunted house in their city or two, and in a couple of neighborhoods. No, not down here, man. Like every block's got a freaking haunted house. And then like the sheriff puts on a really good one. He puts on a big one in his warehouse. There's a couple of really nice ones. So, if you live down here, you get used to seeing things that are out of sort, especially if you hang around in the city a lot. The suburbs is not as much, especially Metairie and all. They're old, but Metairie seems to be pretty laid back. But New Orleans itself, there's always something. And sometimes you think you're seeing shit. It turns out to be something else. Like one night we're driving, it's 3:00 in the morning. We're cutting through the city, and you see all this weird glowing coming out between these buildings, and it sounds like horses clocking. I'm like, what the hell is this, man? So I come zipping. I think we want to catch some kind of like demonic. It's a freaking movie being filmed. Some vampire Western movie. That is a famous movie. I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, we roll right up on it in the car and everything.
It's probably Abe Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
It might have been. I'm
That's
jumping
a
out
cool-
with cameras.
That's a good one.
That's a cool movie. Yes, it
Two
was.
thumbs up for that one. Yeah.
Yes.
Sean and
probably
I
what
will
it
just
was,
sit
yeah.
there and give ratings. Double thumbs, one thumb.
Well, it's funny. One of your guests contacted me today about a show about doing a show on a network by doing that kind of stuff. It's a guy who does the documentaries and stuff, little films and stuff. Well, I can't think of his name for nothing.
Who are you talking to, me or Sean?
Yeah.
I'm talking to you.
Okay, well, I don't know which one.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Y'all supposed to be telepaths or psychics or some shit.
I know exactly who it was. He told me that he asked. Remember, he asked for your contact information because he wanted to get you in a documentary.
Yeah, we were talking about it today, and I showed him, where
Jason Hewlett, I think it is.
Yeah, I showed him the difference between live. He said, "Wow." He said, "Well, people all the time ask me, come do podcasts, can they get paid?" I said, "Yeah, if you get enough audience, you can. But you got to get there. You just don't get a check." I said, "Meanwhile, but we're such a unique network." Well, I mean, I was just thinking the other day.
I have an audience.
Listen, but I was just thinking the other day I should quadruple what everybody pays just for the amount of reach we got. Lord, man, you can't pay for this kind of reach. It was funny because I was picking on a good friend of mine, Jessica Reach, the other day. She works for NBC. And she was giving me some shit about listeners. And I'm like, really? I said, how many listeners you got in Iran? Oh, that's right, 0. Oh, how many you got in Afghanistan? Oh, that's right, 0. Well, no, wait, that's right, you got 0. Oh, Israel? Oh, you got 5. I was like, ooh. I said, wait. I said, how many you got in Egypt? Oh, that's right, 0. I said, how many you got in? Oh, that's right, 0. She's like, stop it. I'm like, I said, look, you got there's like 30 countries you're not allowed in. I'm allowed in those countries, and you're not. I said, I can go all over Vietnam. I said, I'm even allowed in China, and you're not. I said, so get over yourself. You ain't that big and bad no more. I said, because I go
That's right.
places you can't. I said, I go everywhere you do go, plus places you can. I said, technically so. So technically, who's bigger here, me or you? They get so pissed at me, they can't stand it. But I've been talking with some other networks lately, and we got more reach than anybody
Oh,
else.
yeah.
Why am I not? What the hell?
What'd you
Wrong
do?
camera.
Wasn't
No,
me.
I was on.
It wasn't me. Whatever it is.
I thought I
Hey,
had
Joe.
the Hitron set up. I got something else.
Joe,
set up.
you sent a message to Jenny. Y'all had a meeting on Saturday, right?
This Saturday on the 15th. Yeah, we got it.
Okay, you said something that our
yeah.
our show, Chasing Prophecy, finished second in what?
Oh,
I don't
on
know.
Podbean. Yeah, y'all wrapped it. Y'all hit
What's
up at
that?
second for the Podbean is just another one of our broadcast venues. See,
Okay.
we have 150 archive sites, and each one is different. None of them are the same. So, like SoundCloud right now, I'm whooping Michelle's ass right now, by the way, but she is in second. But y'all, nobody else is even close. Actually, Michael Angley is the closest, and he ain't even close. But that was just mean on my part. But it's the way it is. So SoundCloud's got one audience. Podbean's got another audience. By the way, Michelle and I ain't even. Well, we're in the top 6.
We suck at Podbean.
Yeah, so I don't know what it is. They just don't like us over there. Spotify, we do good on. iHeart is different. iTunes is different. Everybody's different. So you never know. So what I do is when I'm passing through them, from time to time I look at the stats. That's one of the things Saturday we're going to talk about, just a little bit of stats. Really, Saturday's meetings really just about branding on the station, YouTube, and stats.
Should we? Are we live?
Yes, we are
we
live.
maybe talk about the meeting after.
Yes. Actually, we are live. But people,
saying.
y'all know people. I make the meetings public anyway, so it don't matter. You don't have to act. Well, people use this. This is so funny. This is like when Michelle and I do the Gray Zone on Saturday. So people used to sneak because I did the meetings over Spreaker. So it published to SoundCloud. So people would go over there and try to download it really fast to get it. And I'm thinking, we're not going to delete it. I'm leaving it up there so the damn host can find it. Because, unless it's a private meeting where we're discussing something personal amongst the hosts,
right?
Everything else gets recorded so that, when the hosts want to go back and hear something, they don't have to bug me and go listen to the meeting or dig it up. And then, sometimes in meetings we talk about ghosties and aliens and demons too.
Cool.
Especially when the Queen of Paranormal is with us.
And that's Michelle, right?
I'm not saying who that is. You see, I played that out with no name coming out of my mouth.
Mental telepathy here.
Well,
Sure,
Sean, since we have several
queens
like on the network, we got to be careful here.
I don't pay attention to labels. Just saying.
See, we got some redheaded queens. We got some brunette-headed queens. We got some blonde-headed queens. We got some kind of weird in-between colors in there.
Not pointing fingers at anybody or anything, right, Sean?
Actually, Jesse, Jesse, we're just teasing. But,
we girls. Yeah.
We have a lot of girls on the network, Denise.
Darn right.
We always have. It's always been like it. Actually, there's been several incarnations of the station where the men were outnumbered by the women. So, yes, it does happen. So it goes back and forth. So right now we're kind of even, unless we count syndicated, and the men are heavy right now. But the last incarnation, the women were very heavy. I don't mean heavy like that, dumbass. I mean heavy. There's more of them. And
are you a listener? Seriously, doing that right now?
Yeah, and then it's just like having different countries. We have 7 Canadian hosts right now, and
wow.
Actually we had 1 UK host. Now we got 2. We've got a South Korean host, an Australian host, and I think a Scottish or Irish host. And somebody from South America. Oh, we're gonna have a relative of mine from Venezuela is coming on. He's gonna do a show. I ain't gonna know what the hell he's saying because he's been speaking Spanish the whole time. But whoever asked, it's gonna be a Spanish-speaking show about Venezuela. He wants to help educate Americans on Venezuela. He always tells me I pronounce it wrong, so I always call it Venezuela. No, actually, he's a mayor of a town way up in some mountain somewhere, very high-end, upscale place, don't know what it's like right now since the collapse. But it's funny about this is him and I talk about ghosties and demons up there all the time. He says I forgot what he calls them, some Spanish name.
Jinn?
They're like the four riders that come through the town and they take everybody's food and clothes and leave the villagers naked without food. I'm like, what? He said, yeah. He said that's how El Carnival got started down here.
The four horsemen of the apocalypse.
Apparently
like those kind of four riders. Or?
Apparently, it's the four horsemen that don't have no food or no clothes. But anyway, he said they don't kill anybody or even steal any villages or anything. He said, but it is something that happens fairly regularly. And he said, as far as lights in the sky, that's a common thing over there, which I've heard that before. So, Brett told me if we wanted to come on, he goes, "You're going to charge me, aren't you?" I said, "Just because you're relative don't mean you get on for free, buddy." I said, numbers talk and everything else just walks on down the road. Actually, Bruce, yeah, you can, I can get iCarCox.net. Yeah, don't give out my phone number over the air. Yeah, I learned not to do that a long time ago. I was on some big radio show and I accidentally said it and I regretted it. I still regret it. I still get phone calls from it. Yeah, it's nightmares. And people just call you. What gets me, this tells you what kind of weird stuff goes on in my life. So 2 days ago, I got 2 calls for NPR, for a guest or a host on NPR. I was like, wrong network. Today, I get a call for Race Hobbs. Race, if you listen, he's the owner of UPRN. I mean, not UPRN, KGRA. And I'm like, why the hell am I getting a call for him? I'm like, people, get the damn numbers straight, man. We own United Public Radio and UFO Paranormal Radio. It's not that complicated. I don't know what's going on. And then this afternoon, I get another phone call for a local NPR. I'm like, what?
It's pandemic brain.
It is pandemic brain. Well, every now and then you do see
chillax and at home.
Well, sometimes when you do a search for the acronym UPRN, NPR comes up with us. Mm-hmm. But that's just because they've been around for so long. But I don't know why they're calling us. I mean, and this guy got upset when I told him he couldn't speak to this person. I'm like, wait. He said something to me, and I said, no, you get the wrong network. He said, no, you just don't want to let me speak. I said, no, you got the wrong network. I said, this is United Public Radio. You're looking for National Public Radio or New Orleans Public Radio, whichever one you're calling. I said, but you're calling the wrong place. No, this is the number it gave me. I said, well, look, why don't you go back to where you were and look? I said, because this is my phone number. I said, this is the United Public Radio Maintenance Solutions phone number. I said, so, and I said, the real station number is 504-273-7379 anyway. I said, so I'm not sure what you're doing. And then he was getting indignant. And I said, don't let me hang up on you, dude. And he's like,
should have just said, how can I help you?
And then
how much do you want to pay? Okay, let's do that.
He was wanting to talk
You're
to
doing it all wrong. Maybe he was trying to give you money.
Oh, no, I think he was listening to some show on NPR and the woman was pissing him off and he wanted to talk to her. And I'm thinking, I ain't got nothing to do with this one. What the hell do you want me to do? There's nothing I can do to help you, get this woman's attention because she's not on my network. And even if she was on my network, I probably wouldn't let your self talk to him. It's just, oh no, Mike, you mean just type in UPRN for the station? Oh no, I'm going to tell you something. I learned this a long time ago and I wish I learned it sooner. For iCar and United Public Radio, actually was UFO Paranormal at the time, we made a boo-boo. So we named these 2 products and they were good. And we liked the names and everything. And then one day, like 6 months later, we did an acronym search. Yeah, what bunch of dumbasses we were. Oh no, the UPRN is all kind of look up numbers, man. It's hard. They've got some of them that's got like 1 trillion hits on it. There's no way we'll ever get up to that. And then same thing with iCar. So all I can tell you, people, when you name something, the name's great, but always check the acronym for the name before you decide what you're going to do. Just a little friendly advice for somebody who's been through it myself. Yeah, like Unique Property Reference Number. That's what UPRN is. That's real estate. That's been around for like 100 years in both America and Britain. It's like, yeah, it's going to be hard to get around that. But anyway, getting back to what we were talking about. Oh, Quinn, you're right. If you type in UPRN radio, we're the first thing that comes up, unless I believe it's SoundCloud that comes up first. But and then the station does. Yeah. No, yeah, because SoundCloud, is killing everybody. It's Michelle's fault. Yeah,
always my fault. I own it. Whatever.
It is. No, well, you see,
Joe, why is it Michelle's fault?
Because Amelia programs. Amelia puts these special things in the food she sends over to Michelle, and then she programs Michelle on the air with a little hypnosis, and so it's always Michelle's fault.
Okay.
Right to me like Joe's on crack. Joe's on crack. No, really.
The real people know. So
The
it's
real
always
people know.
Joe's fault.
Keith, no, I actually, reason I published what I did today is because I get so many letters about ghosts, ghost this, ghost that. First off, and I've said this, I can't tell you how many times I said this. I'm not the ghost guy, and I'm not always agreeing that ghosts are ghosts in the first damn place. So I'm always the wrong person, right? To. So we bring them up on these panels so we can talk about it. So a good friend of mine wrote to me about how he finds ghosts. He uses it's a little. He made it joined together. So he's got a little, it's like a temperature sensor and a magnetic field sensor. Really, really sensitive too.
It sounds like a millimeter.
So he's got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he basically what he did is melded it together. So I guess you could call it that. So he walks around with this thing, and when it trips and it does things, and he helps him find. He said, and it's never been wrong. He said every time it hits these two certain guidelines I use, he said if the temperature drops more than 20 degrees. And whatever he was telling me about the magnetic field, he said, I know I got something. I said, okay, but what the hell do you have? He said, well, what do you mean?
It sounds like a millimeter.
My question. Yeah.
It sounds like a millimeter.
Yeah.
That does both. It's like EMF detector, and I mean, it does all kinds of things, but EMF, and it does temperature, does everything.
Did you see the new one out, Michelle?
No, I have not.
Nice, real nice. It's very compatible. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God. Well, if we ever get out, we're still in, like I always say, virus jail here.
Yeah, they're still in hell up there.
Don't want to say the C word. Yeah, we're in virus jail. We still can't get out to do much of anything. So,
yes,
yeah.
Really?
Mr. Pink Shorts will not let him out. I don't know why he won't let him out, but
Wow.
I even had dinner with him. I'm like, Justin, baby, what's going on here?
JT has gotten his little world.
So now I guess I might not be able to talk to you soon. I'm hearing that he's going to cut off relations with the United States.
What?
Because
What,
Michigan.
Trudeau?
Yeah, Michigan. Well, the Michigan governor, which I ain't going to get into as much, but the Michigan governor decided she wants to cut off the pipeline going to Canada. We send y'all 500 million barrels or something through it. But anyway, it's a lot of oil. And Trudeau's like, whoa, wait, excuse me? You're going to do what? He said that will cause chaos in our country.
I really wouldn't, because Alberta more than produces enough to sustain us, but the United States and the rest of the world all have their hand in it. So I don't know what he's on about.
Well, no. What happened was when Trump was president, we became the #1 producer of oil in the world, even beating out the Saudis by far. So what we were doing is y'all were selling y'all's bitumen to certain countries. We would supplement y'all with sweet crude from the South, which is a better oil for y'all. It's cleaner burning and it's easier to refine. So yeah, it was a great thing. Canada was getting to make a lot of money getting rid of their bitumen. It wasn't coming here and it wasn't going in y'all's country. So our air was staying clean. But unfortunately, what did she say? Oh, it goes under the Michigan River. She said it could be a future problem, like 100 years from now.
Oh God.
I'm like, whatever.
I do not speak for that woman. No.
So I was just like, okay, well,
all I have to say is VPN.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So people
I
look. At this rate, I mean, we may never get to see the Canadians again. I hear they might have to learn Mandarin next year. So
yeah, come rescue us.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Oh no, actually, Peter, I'm serious about the oil thing. Yeah, that was a true statement, and he did say that if she did that, they might have to cut relationships with the United States. But the reason I bring it up is because Trudeau is famous for being a paranormal freak anyway. And I always like talking about him because, first off, he looks good in pink shorts, in hot pink shorts. I mean, I don't know what he was trying to sell
those,
there. Huh? I'm not sure what he was trying to sell there, but hey, the man looked good. So and the other day somebody sent me it wasn't a pink shirt. At first I thought it was like for breast awareness, but it was something else. I don't know what it was. Hot pink shirt. He obviously likes hot pink. Not judging. Personally, I couldn't pull off hot pink, but hey, if he likes it, that's all fine. But it's just fun to talk about it because first off, he's going to be running around in pink, which is kind of cool. And two, you never know what's going to come out the idiot's mouth. He's like talking to any of the other idiot world leaders right now. So I really think maybe he has an attachment, he has an attachment that likes pink apparently. So can we assume it's a female attachment maybe?
Well, I don't know too many people that would remove it if it was there. Just saying, coming from somebody that could.
Yeah, well, I mean, when the leader of the free Canadian world is running around some Daisy Duke pink shorts, you just gotta kind of step back and say, and wonder what's going on here.
Sometimes you just have to step away from things you can never unsee.
So something happened in the last 20 years. It used to be that world leaders had class and wore suits and always
Yes.
looked good. And then poof, it stopped. Now we got these idiots that I'm telling you, they all have attachments. We need to figure out. That's what we need to do. We need to come up with an organization. If you're going to be world leader, we need to know you're attachment free.
Exactly.
Because
So what was
obviously
his-
some of the idiots running it. Go ahead, Tristan.
Michelle, what was Trudeau's old man like? Was he pretty cool?
A lot of people liked him a lot. But I mean, very much
'Cause he was a
his
sexy
son. I mean, he was pro-China, pro-Cuba, good friends with Fidel Castro. I mean, I remember him, what was it, riding around on a World War II motorcycle with a Nazi helmet on.
Huh?
Yep.
Oh wow.
Just
Wow.
he was very erratic,
He was
but people loved him.
he was, and he used to like to bring his wife down and drop her off in Cuba and let her spend weeks down there with Castro. That's why
Castro
they
would
call
come up here. Yeah.
that's why they say that Justin's last name is Castro, not Trudeau.
I heard that.
I didn't believe it at first, and then I was messing around with Laura Lee one day, and she sent me over a picture of Castro. He was like 30, and Trudeau, and I didn't.
They
He was
look
like
very similar.
he was like 26 or something, and they had a pic. I'm telling you what, if he ain't his kid, him and the daddy must be related because it was just too close.
Doppelganger. Yeah.
There was some weirdness going on there. I'm thinking, oh well, hey. So maybe his daddy was possessed, and then when he died, it went ahead and went to the kid. Because I mean, his dad the difference is his dad had class. Well, I'm just saying the old man had class. He was an ass. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I heard lots of
class.
stories.
He was really a great dresser. He carried himself well. He really was.
He
was very articulate when he spoke. He was very educated. Yeah, for sure.
But that's
no hot pink.
No, only
actually,
helmets.
He probably rolled over in the grave when he saw his son wearing hot pink. He was probably like, I could just think if it was Castro's kid, it would even be worse. Jesus. Oh, maybe that's his communist hot pants. I don't know. They're pink. I'm stretching at people. What can I say?
I just la 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 la. Not listening.
But no, Michael, I'm gonna tie this in. This is because they have attachments. That's what we're talking about. I have no doubt.
I agree with you. Yeah,
I have no doubt that Trudeau's got an attachment of some kind. I don't know. Maybe it's a pink freak attachment, but he's got an attachment.
Okay, can I just say this? He's been checked. He does not have an attachment.
Oh, don't.
Okay, he's been checked like he's been probed.
Not by this kid.
I'm going to ask if he was wearing latex at the time.
No, I don't even want to hear that stuff.
I'm just asking a question. That's all.
Not listening. No.
Red's writing in from Clearwater, Texas. Hey, I've been to Clearwater a few times down there, and yeah, Clearwater. In case you don't know, guys, Clearwater's a big place. It's one giant ass refinery, is what it is. It's like 5 refineries, but they're just massive. They're bigger than cities. When you drive up on, you really think you're driving up on Houston. It's such a massive thing. Yeah, I actually have heard the flaming guys, the ones that just walk in between. It looks like a ghost, and it like flames on, like the Ghost Rider, and then flames off, and then
I never heard that one.
There's supposed to be 5 of them that do it fairly regular down there. I have not personally seen it. No,
never heard that. No.
Josh, a friend of mine, Josh Random, seen it one time, but I until just recently, I'll be honest with you, there, a caller, I had never even heard of it. He had told me about it. Yeah, he was working. I got several friends that worked at rigs back in the day, and he was working the one. Was it 05? I know what that's it. LO5. He was working that one, and they said they had seen him on a couple of nights come through there. They were working 3rd shift, and they had seen him come through. He said he had no idea what it was. He thought it was a hoax at first. Then he started hollering at somebody, "What's wrong with you, you stupid blinker blank? You know this is a damn chemical refinery. You walking around and fly. What the hell's wrong with you?" And then poof, they were gone. One guy got one picture. I seen one, but it's you can't really tell it's a person. It's like a 6 foot tall flame. Yeah, well, that don't mean anything. That could be any damn thing. Yeah, I don't know. It was weird. And but they say they don't feel threatened, so no one's ever did a clearing anything because no one ever. They said they don't feel like it's a threat to them. I'm thinking
Ah.
you got a flame and somebody walking through a gas refinery and it's not a threat. I'm thinking it might be. Uh, you know,
Say it.
Michelle,
Say it.
no. It's Merial. Morel.
Muriel?
Muriel.
Anyway, she's telling me about the Denver airport. Now we've talked about the Denver airport on this show many times. I have personally, what's a ghost meter? Who knows I don't know what a ghost meter is. You're
K2.
asking.
K2.
Oh, okay. See, somebody. I see. Something you asked the wrong person. So she said she's walking through there with her ghost meter, and the damn thing kept going off. And she said she gets the weirdest readings on it. And she said, and all of a sudden you'll be walking along, and the meter will go off, and then all of a sudden you feel this really cold spot, and then there's nothing. Everything's back to normal. She said, but it's not like they're moving. It's like you're moving through them. It's almost like they're stationary.
Yeah, I experienced that a lot. Yes.
So
And
what?
it makes me feel weird.
I wonder if is it like a portal where the ghosts are coming in now from the other side or something, and we're just walking through them?
I think the readings would be higher if you were anywhere near a portal. I mean, that's a lot
Yeah,
of
that's true
energy.
too. Yeah, that is true. Morel Corral. I have no. Yeah, I love that Morel and Corral. Yeah. No, I have no idea. I mean, I've walked through cold spots before. Well, like the graveyard that Jeff heard me talk about, the 350-year-old graveyard down here while the kids are born. What's weird about that place is once you get inside the gates, it's cold inside the gates, the whole graveyard.
Right.
It's usually 10 to 15 degrees colder than the surrounding area. And then that's also the place where we'll be standing out there and the fog will roll up from chest high. And then over each grave, the fog's turning like there's a barrel or something turning. It's really weird. Yeah,
That's
we've been out
cool.
there a few times. It's a very strange place to be.
I want to go.
If anything ever touches me out there, I'm lighting the bitch on fire. I'm just telling you ahead of time. No, ghosties don't want to touch me. I'm not approachable like that. Ghosties scared Joe to turn around. They're scared Joe to turn around with some holy water. Be gone, bitch. Be gone. Be gone. Be gone. I'll be flinging that shit everywhere. I had
That's
some
funny.
holy water mixed with some kerosene. I'll be throwing water and flame at the same time, man.
That's just like a friend of mine. We went to investigate a house one time, and the kid was like 6'6". He was huge. And he said, I wanted to body slam that ghost on the back of my porch. And I said, what are you going to do? Pick up something that's not there?
Yeah.
So if you body slam him, you're going down, not him. He's laughing at you. But yeah.
You are. You're going to be one that hits the thing. Oh, well, look at this. I did a search on UPRN Radio and Chasing Prophecies on the top page with us. Look at that. That's pretty good.
All right.
Woo! 2 thumbs up for that.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm going to have to start charging. Oh, I can't. I was about to say a real name. I'm going to start charging Jennifer more, I think. No, I'm just teasing. It's no character.
No, that's cool.
No,
I'll
Kirby, we're
tell
talking
you
about
what.
Chasing Prophecy. Good.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I'm really impressed with our ratings that we're getting now.
I've been doing good.
For what we started off at another place where we only getting like 14 viewers off of SoundCloud, and now we're over 100,000. And to me, that's great. I mean, you know, and just listening to Michelle, you, and the others, man, it just, I feel part of this family, and it's all cool. You know what I mean?
And well, we've been around for a while. Somebody asked me, well, I don't know how you get so many listeners and more than these other stations. I said, I've been here 22 years.
Because we're good.
That's what I said. No, that's what I said. I said we're 22 years.
Definitely.
We're 22 years and have had some of the biggest names in the field on this network. Of course, we're good people. And I said everybody always wants to come back. I said nobody here don't want to go. I said I've never had anybody say no, they didn't want to come here. Not once.
No, we lucked out. We really got lucky.
Yeah,
we really got lucky.
We're good. We're stable and we're growing, which is nice. We're actually finally growing to a point where I might be able to give up my other job. Hey, know this for anybody listening that's a host. But listen. Anybody that's a host listening tonight, not so much for the audience. Yeah, when Joe gives up his day job, that means at least some of the hosts are getting paid. Because if we reach the point where it's covering the job I have in the daytime, that's pretty good money. So that means somebody else. I can guarantee you, when it goes to me retiring on the station, at least I know at least 3 hosts that'll probably be in the money, and probably in decent money. But we'll wait and see. We no reason to be greedy, and I know somebody already is getting freed out in a month. We're not going to mention no names.
Okay, good.
I think it's July. Is it July 1st? I think it's July 1st. And I'll tell the other one when I talk to her. Yes, Bubbles is an alien, Glenn. Yes, she's an alien. We've
Stop
talked
picking on
about this.
poor Bubbles.
I'm not picking on Bubbles. I'm
Who's
trying
You're
to
picking on
Bubbles?
enlighten her.
Bubbles.
Bubbles the
That's my
Gray.
Where
co-host.
Bubbles? Oh,
No, she's Michelle the demon, and Bubbles the Gray.
Oh my gosh.
Michelle is the demon girl. I
why
call
is
it.
she Joe? Why is she a demon? I can't see no
Yeah,
demon in her.
Joe. Why is
Well,
that
Yeah.
exactly?
because I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you. So if Michelle walks into a room full of demons, what do you think happens? The demons go, "Oh shit," and go the other way. So you
Well,
have to be
that
a pretty.
tells you that she's very
That's that
magical.
she's a demon because the demons are scared of her ass. That's what it tells you.
Apparently, I'm much better than I figured I was.
Um,
Yay! Thumbs up.
uh,
Yeah.
Christopher. Oh no!
Whatever.
You've never seen Sean on this show before. No, he's not. Hasn't been on a panel
No.
before. No, Sean is from Sean Kelly's from Chasing Prophecy on Thursday. Yeah, we've been thinking about it. We've been thinking about moving to a later time to give them a little bit more audience, but it's going to be hard to move now because they're doing really well in the slot. But I do have an idea about that. Not I'm going to talk about now though. My favorite ghost, Casper.
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 He's
Oh,
my favorite guy. Nice and wimpy, mild mannered ghost. Don't hurt nobody.
little pain in the ass poltergeist is what he is.
Stay Puff. Well, I'd like to Stay Puff because I'd be slicing him out and throwing him an ice cream as he's walking down the street. And he's like, whoosh, "Hey, Stay, how you doing, man? Whoosh, go, keep going, man. Don't pay no attention to me." I squirt some chocolate on him. He's walking by, you know. I guess you could make a flaming tart out of him, but I think that might be cruel. We'll just leave that alone. No, I use actually. Well, it's different for me. See, all these people use all these ghosty tools, but I'm a contractor, so I have all these tools, but they're for contracting, not for ghost busting. So, but I can use them for ghost busting. Yeah, I have very sensitive temperature gauge things for lasers that are really accurate to. I think it's 105 below, all the way up to 900 degrees. It's weird because I can sit outside my house. Like today, it's 77 degrees outside. If I point it straight up, it'll say -14. That's how high. Yeah, that's how high it'll go up in the air. It's
Wow.
it's a great little tool. But we have several. We have all kind of meters for picking up electrical fields and magnetic fields because we have to work with this stuff. We have moisture meters and mold meters, and we have meters that pick up stuff that ghost people ain't even thought of using yet, and they do work. It's but we use this all the time, and we work just like the other day. So we're remodeling this 150-year-old house and a 125-year-old shed, which I still don't know why we're remodeling the shed, but we remodel the whole place. Place looks great inside, shed looks great. Whole time we're there, it's quiet, no activity. So we finish up the house. The shed's about 2/3 of the way finished. We finish up the house, and I'm sitting there, and I notice I had a fountain drink, iced tea is what I had actually, and I noticed it kept. I set it down on the fireplace and walked off, and the boys were out front cleaning up. So when I came back around, it was sitting on the other side of the mantle. I'm like, so I looked because there was a puddle on the right side and it was still cold, which means it had just been moved. So I'm like, okay. So I put it back and I walked off in the kitchen. As I was coming back, I noticed it was right back where it was, and the puddle was still cold on the side. So I'm like, what the hell's going on? So I hollered at the boys, well, who the hell keeps screwing my drink? Leave my damn drink alone. And they both look at me like I'm retarded or something. They're like, we ain't even in a house. What are you, crazy? I'm like, whatever. Stay off my drink. So I took it in the back with me. I said, the hell with this. I'm going to bring it back. It's a shotgun house, by the way. So I bring it all the way in the back of the shotgun. So I'm sweeping, getting the area cleaned up, finish this little texture spot in a while. So I reach down and get my drink, take a drink, and thing is gone.
Oh, wow.
So I flip on my phone camera. I say, just son of a blinking drink. Better not be blinking back and a blinking because I can't say this on air. So I get up there, and sure enough, it's sitting there. But this time, it had 5 fingerprints in it, like something had melted them in there.
Oh, wow.
So it was about, I guess, where's the camera? It's probably about the size of my hand here, maybe a little bit bigger. Because when I grabbed it, my fingers almost fit in it perfect. I was like, what the hell happened here? And then my partner came in and said, what the hell? How'd you get the cup melted? What are you heating your fingers in? I said, dude, the cup was in the back. I don't even know how I got it in the damn front. So I called a friend of mine and I said, hey, look, I think this place is haunted before we give it back over to the new tenants. He come over, did some voodoo, whatever the hell he does. And says, I'm bringing it home with me so I can give it a new home. I'm like, what? And he said, yeah, I'm bringing it home. So back in the house feels quiet now, clean up and leaving stuff around, not going, so I didn't worry about it anymore. 3 days later, he calls me. He said, don't ever ask me to come get something out of the house for you again, you blankety, blankety, blankety SOB. I'm like, what's the matter? He said, I can't get rid of it.
Oh, wow.
He said, it has adopted me. He says, not like vicious or anything. He said, but it has adopted me. And he said, it likes opened up my refrigerator and poured me drinks. He said,
Huh?
it's funny
So he
because
can clear that house, but he can't clear his own house.
that's what I said. Wait, it's what he's saying. He said he's tried to clear it.
What?
He said he tried to clear it, and the thing acts like it leaves, and then it's back. And he said it's funny because his girlfriend said, "What are you trying to get drunk tonight?" He said, "You keep making more." He said, "He made a drink yet." So they set up a camera, and you can see these drinks being made with no one around.
Oh, wow. Did you see the video?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I'm trying to get him to release it to the public, and he's scared that it'll cost him his job. And he works for a.
Good. Email it to you, and then you can.
No,
give it
they're
to
in.
the public.
They're in. They're
Oh,
in the
they're
entire.
in
Yeah,
it.
they're in the entire video.
Um,
And where they're not seeing your face, you can hear their voices. And I'm like, dude, I said, well, I'll tell you what, just. He said he brought one of his voodoo princess friends. He said he's going to set up another camera and just leave it there overnight and see what happens. He said because it's just weird. He's like I said, they're not. He said they're not mean. It doesn't seem to be vindictive or hateful. He said, but I did notice I was drinking cranberry juice and vodka. And he said, and he had it's about that much in a glass. And he said I kept coming back, and the glass was never empty. He said, and then I come back one time, it was packed full of crushed ice. I was like, oh. So then I go over and kiss my girlfriend. She said, baby, thank you. You've been keeping me drinks. And she said, what? She said, Joe, she looked over at me like, what are you, stupid or high? Which one? And he's like, but baby, but she said, you made me like, she said, I ain't made you drinking. What are you? You're on crack. And she said, I ain't done anything for you. She said, remember, I'm still mad at you from yesterday. And he was like, then he remembered she still was mad at him for something he had done the day before. So, you hear these little stories and these little weirdnesses that go on in people's lives. And part of them said he never did want to get rid of. I do have two friends right now that live with ghosts. They seem to be fine with them. Got one that has what I call a half-ass poltergeist. Likes to move shit around in the house, especially car keys. It likes to move keys around and stuff like that. I'd be like, look, Ghosty, you want to live in my house? Fine. You start moving my car keys around, your ass is getting evicted. I will have you removed immediately. I do not looking for car keys. I hang the bitches on the side or something so I know where they are all the time.
well, not all hauntings are bad. This house is extremely haunted, and it's fine. You just have to get used to the little intrusions, like people walking into the room when you're in the shower, things like that.
That's not good.
Say,
It's
get out.
delightful. It's delightful. Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yep, it happens.
Well,
It happens.
there's a story. There's a story about what's his name, the actor. What the hell's his name? He played in Face Off.
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage. So
Nicolas
the story.
Cage, yeah.
There's this, Nicholas lived in a really haunted house down here. And he lived in a haunted house where this woman used to walk up and down the stairs and all these things. So
But he's into that stuff. Big
he is
time.
into it, but not enough because he sold the house and moved over there.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah. So
Hmm.
they said this thing used to come get in the shower with you and start rubbing on you and stuff. So the story goes that his maid or his whatever, the house girl was there, and he was in the shower. And house girl said she kept hearing like moaning, like sex or something. And then all of a sudden he come running out. This guy was screaming, blah blah blah. And she said, "I was laughing because he was screaming. I don't swing that way. What is going on?" And she said, I just looked at him like it's crazy because I didn't see anybody in the shower. And she said, I did notice there was water like it was running off of someone's shoulders standing in the shower. And then you could see, she said, I seen something step forward because the rain, but the shower went all over the entire body. She said, I realized it was an invisible man, basically. And,
I know I shouldn't be laughing, but oh my God.
She said, Nicholas looked over at him. Did you see that? She said, yeah, I saw everything. And he said, I'm not. She said, I didn't think you were Mr. Cage. She said, I don't know what to think about this.
Hey, who's judging?
Well, so the story leaked. The story leaked a couple of weeks later, and like within 2 months after they sold his house.
Wow. Yeah, that would be a little intense. Here it's just like there's
I'd be like, bitch, you better get your hands off of me.
Here there are little children in the house. They're not always here. you know, and it's usually when Wayne's in the shower and he'll just, you know, he'll see the door move and he'll say, "Hey, it's private time." And then they
Yeah.
leave. So
Yeah.
everybody here is pretty respectful. Anything that wasn't very nice, I've removed, you know, and then, you know, now that, you know, we do regular clearings, we stay on top of even more of it. So things really don't get in at all.
That's cool.
Yeah, has to happen
Uh,
because the house is just like, it's, you know,
Jessica.
it's pretty
Oh,
haunted.
I don't know if Lori and Dell's got their internet yet. I hope they do. No, I don't know why they're not here tonight. They usually are. Well, she had a fit with her internet company like 2 weeks ago because she was having problems. So she got a new package and they had to rerun everything, wiring and all kind of shit. So you know when they start doing construction, you never know what kind of disaster is going to happen
She
next.
did post on her Facebook though earlier, but she's probably just trying to get up and running for her show.
Yeah, she does. And I know they got stuff going on. Julia and Phil will be coming up in an hour. Yeah, there'll be Rob Gritro or somebody's on with them tonight. No, I sent them invites. Actually, no, I didn't. I forgot. Actually, I did not send them invites. I'll have to apologize for that. Actually, no, I can see it. Hers is queued up. I just never sent it. That's one. I just forgot. I got to get used to them being in the queue. Randy Limps. What's up, Randy? Where you from? Knock, New York. What's up there in Knockers? Yeah, we all know New York is haunted. Haunted
Yeah.
with idiots, apparently, but haunted.
A lot of idiots.
Yeah,
A lot of idiots.
I don't have a favorite ghost story from New York. No, I don't. I mean, and don't, ladies and gentlemen, don't take this the wrong way, but y'all don't send me those stories about, oh, she was walking in the rain in her ball gown along the highway. Look, every state, every county for that matter has got that story. They may be true, at least some of them, but in general, it's a made up bullshit. I'm not saying it didn't originally happen somewhere. I'm just saying that there's too many of them stories. It's not adding up there. It's not just that. I get other ones that you just hear repeatedly in different states. Nah, I got issues with those. Yeah, because I would think ghosts would be different because it's a personality thing. So I would think each state's ghost would be different. So yeah, you got hit on a really diddly curve in the rain, and now you're walking in the curve in the rain. Why? Why would you want to do that if you were a ghost? I would be like, bitch, it's raining out here. Why don't you go home? I guess if you're that angry or that lost, I don't know. I'm just saying from my point of view, I'd be like, ghost, go home.
Ghost. Do you remember that movie, Lady in Black? Remember that one?
Yes.
Oh my God! The next day I got 35 emails saying everybody saw this Lady in Black, and I was like, nah, they can not. No, you didn't. I'm like, please. Like,
look, I remember what was that movie that came out, The Blair Witch Project. Oh my God. I got people in the swamp saying, I said, people, one lady tell me all about this stuff. I said, let me tell you something, sweetheart. I said, I had been all up in that swamp at 2 a.m, 4 a.m, 5 a.m, 5 in the afternoon, 6 a.m, lunchtime, breakfast time. I've been all through that damn swamp. I said, none of that shit exists back then. Oh, I'm telling you. I said, well, take me to the spot. I said, because I've been all over that swamp. Swamp's huge, and I've been all through it. I said, I've seen some hairy, scary stuff back there, but nothing like what you're talking about. Because I just call people out now. On some things, I just know it's BS before it even gets started. And some, like the reptilians walking around in the water in outside the French Quarter, that was a strange thing. And I would have called that as BS if it wouldn't have been for the National Guard and the NOPDs that reported seeing it. Altogether, I can't remember altogether. I think there's either 11 or 14 witnesses, half and half National Guard, half NOPDs. A couple of them actually
show up all over the place.
They do, and a couple of them were actually involved in training scenarios where they took them to malls. This was an interesting thing. This whole scenario was interesting.
The reptilians.
So the reptilians were showing humans how when the big chill comes, whatever you want to call it, whatever this goes down. They were showing how to take people and make makeshift prisons and be able to hold people and recycle people and do whatever they need to them. So they took them to these malls. Well, Oakwood's a big mall. I mean, this is like, a big monster mall with probably 200 stores in it. Well, all of them have the pull down steel gates, and they all have steel frames with brick back walls. They make great jails, by the way. So you pull it down, lock the cage, you ain't getting out anywhere. You're stuck. And even if you can kick to the sheetrock, you're never going to get through the brick walls on each end or in the back. And the fronts are all steel cage. There's no way out. They were great. And I never even had thought about using a mall as a prison, but it's a pre-made prison. And I'm pretty sure our governments are aware of that. I'll tell you something else that I stumbled across we've been getting these weird containers on these trains coming through here. They're rectangular shaped, and they're either made for underwater or underground. They got these weird doors, and they got these weird balls that connect them all together. And we see them being shipped all the day. Well, the other day I stumbled across the staging area, and it's on a military base with no name, no markings, one gate wrapped in bushes, trees, and fences. So I'm gonna hop Google Earth later today and see if I can't track whatever this is down. This is just weird. I don't know what this shit is. And we've been watching this for like 4 years now. They're building something underground or underwater somewhere. And they're building it's massive, whatever it is. And I better shut up before they come building on my head. But I don't know. We've been watching, well, it's like a long time ago, a friend of mine had sent me a picture of a train. And I said, "You're full of shit." And then I got hold of a FEMA friend of mine. He said, "No, he's not." So, in case you don't notice, ladies and gentlemen, there are about a half a dozen trains in the United States that are up to 9 miles long that are prison trains. They're flatbeds with little 4x4 cubicle cells attached. I think there's like 12 or 16 to a flatbed. They just put you in there, lock the door, and transport you wherever you're going.
Oh, wow.
So it's something I didn't even know they existed. We do know we've heard about FEMA camps in the past. We've seen them set up. We've seen what was going on the border. So we know our government can do these things. We've just never seen them do it en masse. A lot of people were getting worried on the COVID that something like that might happen. But fortunately for Americans, we're very resilient and we're easily pissed off. So our government has to kind of, where other countries can get a much faster grip on their populations, it's hard here because we're hard-headed. We don't listen.
Yeah, we are. Yes, we are.
We're you're going to have to shoot us to make us stop. So if you start killing citizens by the tons, that ain't going to fly real well. And the military, everybody always thinks, oh, well, I can do it military. It'll take over. No. Actually, most of the military is not going to back a government that wants to kill the people. They're just not going to do it. They're going to be like, yeah, whatever. We're not going around killing people all over the place. So, and that would make a lot of ghosts like Gettysburg. Every time I go there, I see ghosties walking around. I got to say something about that too. So I'm in X. I'm doing this is like the third time I've been to DC, fourth time. It's X conference 9 or 10. So we leave the X conference. It's about 1 a.m. A friend of mine said, "Let's take a ride down to Gettysburg." It's about an hour, I think, from where we were.
Yeah.
I'm like, sure, I'm tired. What the hell? I got to get up at 6 a.m, but who cares? Let's go. So we get in. And on the way, we stopped and got we actually had to go find a place to get liquor. Couldn't buy it anywhere because I guess these towns close, their liquor stores. So we found some bar that was open, but they didn't sell drinks. They sell bottles and Coke, and you mixed your own drinks. I was like, okay, whatever. Just give us the booze. We out of here. We just want the booze. We don't care what the hell you're doing. So anyway, we get down there, and I'm sitting in the car, and I'm just kind of leaning back in the car, chilling. And there's like 4 of them walking around in this big open field. I don't even know where the hell we were, actually. I just know we were on one of the battlefields. And I'm kind of just leaning back. I light up a cigarette. Yes, that's when I still smoked, people. I light up a cigarette, and I'm sitting there. And it sounded like gunfire or cannon fire off in the distance. I'm like, well, that makes sense being where we were. So then I see one of the guys, he's like out in the middle of the field. And you see what looks to be this blue blobish glowingish thing. Just some bitch is hauling ass back to the car. I ain't never seen a big boy run that fast in my whole life, man. He run so far when he hit the car, he actually broke one of the lenses on the glass. I was like, dude, calm down. He said, you didn't see it? I said, yeah, I seen some blobby, bluey, sparkly thing out there. It kind of reminded me of the picture Bubbles sent me. And it's so I'm like, he said, well, what do you think it is? I said, I don't know. Obviously it was interested in you because it seemed like it followed him up until the edge of the field and then stopped. It was like and we noticed this on a couple of occasions when we seen stuff out there. It would never leave the edge of the field. So in a couple of occasions we just decided to start stopping right there, so it would come almost up to your face and you could step back or forward, but it would never cross that one spot. So is that really a ghost, or is that some kind of energy being held there inside this area?
No, it's really a ghost. That's really a ghost. Can I tell you why? Can I share a couple of stories?
Yes, please.
Okay. I go to Gettysburg every year for the last 22 years, and I love it up there. But there's 2 stories I'd like to tell the audience and you guys. The first one was we were at the wheat field. That's where the Irish got their hands handed, their butts handed. They got it was a massacre. 69th New York, the Fighting Irish. But what happened was I had a CD, and it was the Chieftains. They're an Irish group, and So I put it into my car and I, you know, turned the CD on, and all this Irish music started to play. And as God is my witness, I saw all kinds of orbs, mist. They were like going nuts. And once when I quit playing the music, it all dissipated. I believe that the wheat field, the way it stays, especially on the road, they can't leave that spot. That's where they died. To me, that's their border right there. I don't think they're allowed to cross wherever um, to any other part of that battlefield. The second story I'd like to share with you, and it was pretty cool. There's a bridge down there. It's part of the battlefield, but it's further away from it. It's called Sachs Covered Bridge. And the bridge, when the Confederates decided to go back down into Virginia, all the deserters were hung on this bridge. And so I was on there one night, and as God is my witness, I got knifed in the back, and nobody was around. I had a thing about a scratch about that big on my back. Yeah, and then come to find out, the soldier was from Tennessee, and so knowing me, I started talking to the guy, pissed him off. He pissed me off, so I talked to him about it. But I left him a cigarette and I left him a match, and every time I went back there, I give him a cigarette, and my God, he would light up all the meters, the K2s, the whole 9 yards, But I just wanted to share those stories. I love Gettysburg.
Oh, it's
Love
amazing over there.
Yes,
it really
it
is. It's an experience just in
gorgeous.
itself, just being there with the history. It has a
Yes.
whole feel about it, just as it is at any given time of the day. You know that you're surrounded with a lot of residual energy, so it just weighs in the atmosphere, and you know that there's always eyes on you also.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I got something for y'all. Have y'all ever seen yourself as a ghost?
No.
The reason I ask is I've had a couple of reasons. This is something a fairly new phenomenon. I shouldn't even be talking about because now it'll be all over every freaking radio network on the planet. It seems like a fairly new phenomenon, but I've had a couple of, one time I was somewhere and I looked at something. When it looked back at me, I thought it was me. I was like, not me today, but definitely me from a different time period. And I was like, well, am I seeing through time? Am I seeing a ghost, or what the hell am I seeing? But to be honest with you at the time, and I was young, I just kind of let it slide out my head as, when that's just bullshit or too much alcohol, maybe some marijuana. God only knows back then, because I did all kind of things. So I just let it slide. But just recently, I have had some fairly big researchers tell me that they've seen themselves haunting a particular place. I was like, well, that's confusing to me. I said, because isn't the ghost your soul? I said, unless it's residual energy, then it doesn't matter. I said, because if it's you, then how the hell are you here if you haunting somewhere?
Unless, like you say, it's an imprint.
And that's but you can generally tell. I mean, even before I met the crowd I hang out with these days, I could kind of tell. But with all of y'all on the network, for me, a residual implant is something I'm just gonna notice right off the bat. It's gonna loop, or it's gonna do something that allows you to know that this is what this is. But like in Jessica's case, she said she had a full conversation with herself. And she said the more they talked, the more sense that I got.
Okay, what about a mimic?
It's possible. See, that's what I'm saying.
A demonic mimic of sorts. I could see that. I mean, they're known to shapeshift.
Yeah, she said towards the end of the conversation that she started feeling. She said that she started feeling pissed off towards the end of the not who she was talking to, but herself. She said, she said there was no way. She said, first off, it was just weird because it felt like her. She said, plus she knew intimate knowledge about this life that she was living. But I had no knowledge of this woman whatsoever. And she said, and I didn't feel an attachment to like I was, Hanaway Jane back in the Wild Wild West. She said, it just didn't feel like that to me. I said, well, I don't know. I said, Jessica, it could be any damn thing. And I did. I listed about 10 things it could be. I said, but I really don't know what it is. I said, it could be some kind of spirit playing a trick on you. It could be a demon. It could be I said, there's a lot of stuff this could actually be. Or, you've drank too much, smoked too much, or you're just losing your freaking mind. That's always within the realm of possibility. When people start seeing things, as a researcher, I always want to assume that they really are seeing things. But over the years, I have found out that, about half really aren't seeing anything. It is just in their head. And I'm not a psychologist. I can't go around telling people, let me help you with this. All I can tell them is, you need to go see a psychologist or someone like that, because it's not something we do. We recommend on an average year, probably 50 or 60 people a year we recommend to a psychologist or to a doctor. Because sometimes people will tell me stuff that I've heard before that I know is a particular kind of health issue. So I'm kind of like, well, y'all need to, get out and get it done and get it taken care of. Because one lady was telling me about this weird. She was feeling lightheaded. And she was getting this ringing in her ears, and she was getting winded. And she was blaming it on aliens. I said, "No, baby, you sound like you might have a clogged artery or something. You need to go get checked out." And this went on for about a month, and she finally, her kid was talking to me. I said, "No, she needs to go get checked out." He brought her, and she had a clogged artery, and would have killed her too. Doc said would have killed her. He said, He said, "Why did you know?" I said, "Because I had one myself in the past." I said, "That's why I knew." And I said, "But yeah."
But you know what? You could have, like, if you live in a location or you're in a location with high levels of EMF. Like, I've always used even carbon monoxide detectors in investigating old houses or homes, because if you have levels of that, you're going to hallucinate. It makes you hallucinate carbon monoxide, right? Even at low levels.
Yes.
Right.
That's why whenever I investigate, and before we even start, we go down to the fuse box and we check out the wiring that's actually inside the house.
Furnace for carbon monoxide, slow leaks and stuff like that. I mean, we've seen it happen. I've seen it happen. I'm just like, Jesus, like, check this out. I mean, there's some people who will even have, home inspectors on the team just to go in and really thoroughly go through a place, like with a fine-tooth comb, just to be sure that it's everything logical is as it should be. And then you can at least eliminate some of that stuff. But I don't know. It sounds to me like the hallucinations, or she's just got, one of three things: hallucinations, whether it's on her part or whether it's something in the area in her space that's causing her to hallucinate, medications that's causing her to hallucinate, or a malevolent entity that can easily shapeshift into anything, leading her to believe. It's like leading people to believe that they're communicating with a loved one, or, a child with another child, right? Like,
yes. Mm-hmm.
Those sound like more probable than speaking to yourself, unless, I don't know, man, time travel, it's a thing. Apparently, it's like it's a thing. Apparently, I don't know. It's a whole other thing, but
it seems to be a thing anyway.
It's like,
hey, can I ask one more question?
Yes, I would.
Okay. Yes. Is it possible to have a past life regression when you're alive? And I'll tell you why. Because I, honest to God, see myself over in Vietnam getting shot. And so I was wondering, is it possible to have a past life while you're still alive?
Well, you can have a past life of a past life, yeah. I don't know about in the current life, but
in the current life,
you can be alive and see stuff in your past lives. That's fairly common, but it's still it's a strange event.
It freaks me out.
I mean, apparently, the soul, the spirit can split many times aside from that, but you would be in a different body. So that would be a little bit strange. Do you have a twin that you know of?
Not that I know of, no.
Yeah, because that would be something also, identical twin that you didn't know about. And maybe, I don't know, it's very strange. Sometimes, again, if it's Vietnam, where you get like a DNA imprinting of ancestors, like ancestral lines, where you carry forth some of those traits and memories. Sometimes people say, well, this is a past life thing, where maybe it's an ancestral memory that's just printed into your DNA. Yeah. But all good points and bad points, good memories, bad memories. I don't know. It's fascinating just to research it. There's just so much to it, but it makes a lot of sense.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Stay away from you demonesses.
She's not a demon, man. She's an angel.
Yeah. She's an angel with horns. It's yeah, you ever heard that song? I'm on the righteous side of hell, or the righteous side of hell. That's Michelle, man.
Keep it up.
That's a good song. What do you mean?
Give you a
That is a
bit of
good
a
song.
rough night of
Actually?
sleep there.
Who the
To
hell
live up to
sings
my
that?
namesake.
Now I can't remember who sings the damn song now.
Send you a little friend.
They leave me alone because they think I
Mm.
might. They always think I might barbecue them or something. So they stay the hell away.
So you think.
Aliens and demons and ghosties say Joe eats anything. We're not going around him.
Yeah.
like
Well, let's just
they're
mess
like he
with
might
them.
think we're lunch or
We'll
something.
just wait till he
man.
has a couple of drinks and then we'll just like mind mess him a little bit.
Then I'm definitely surely like going to eat their asses or something. They know better.
Yeah,
That's funny.
Fiona would know.
No, God, Fiona,
This
she
little
be
demon dog.
She would be
She'd
barking
know.
her brains out.
Yeah.
She's so weird. Sometimes she will go into a barking frenzy, and sometimes she just looks at things like the corner, like, "Yeah, I see you." I'm like, "What the hell are you looking at, dog?"
But
She's
dogs
just
know.
staring
Yeah,
her
they
ass
do.
off.
They know.
Cats.
Animals are natural seers. They can
Yes.
see all kinds of stuff, just like children. It's just we as adults who seem to miss all the good stuff.
Well, because as
us.
adults, we teach ourselves not to believe.
But we're busy too. Life doesn't allow us to pay attention. I always use the example, much of like what you were talking about when you had the cup at work. If you left a cup on the table and went to work and came home and it was moved, would you have enough sense to say, oh, yeah, I left the cup on the table and it moved? Or would you just say to yourself, oh, yeah, I forgot to put the cup away? Most people are so busy in life that
Yeah,
you just don't pay attention to those little details.
They wouldn't
Okay.
catch it. They would let it slide.
Hmm.
They would be like, "Oh no, it probably wasn't there." That's
Yeah.
the biggest problem with all humans is they question themselves on things they shouldn't question themselves on, things they know they're right on, but because it's out of the norm,
Right.
they're going to question themselves. Which is, I mean, I understand why they do it. I just don't think it's, I think we should have more faith in our abilities. But if you grow up your whole life, someone telling you you're a dumbass or this, that, and the other thing,
Yeah.
you may not have this
It's
faith.
true.
Yes, that
That's
is
true.
true. That's
So-
true.
Mm.
And I do notice too that ghosties and demons like to be around broken people. Maybe it's an attraction for them, or maybe the torment of the broken person allows them in. I have no idea, but I do notice that a lot of broken people seem to have things in
Attachments.
their lives. Yeah, I hate to even
Well,
use
I
the
think
word.
they can amplify them also.
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree. I think they can.
Their energy. Yeah, their energy's like wide open. So
Mm.
the spirits and the ghosties and demons are right on them in a heartbeat. I mean,
It's so easy to attach to somebody like
Yeah.
that because a lot of times they're not even realizing that something has come in because they're just, they have their own issues to work with or they're broken in certain ways. And you're just dealing with day-to-day life or existence or depression, anxiety, PTSD. There's a whole list of things.
right.
And these things come in, they feed off of it, they amplify it, they cause a lot more negativity within the household. So,
Right.
they keep you from thinking about it. They suppress you to the point where you're not sleeping properly, you're not eating properly, and you're not getting along with anybody. So you're isolating everybody. So people can't even make you aware from the inside out or the outside in that things are going wrong.
Right.
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 It's pretty sad.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. It's the Joiner report. No, that's from today. Goofy people, whoever sent me that. Demons, and demons. No, see, Christopher. Yeah, you can find this. No, you can't find us on United Public. Yes, I know we were bitching about going there, but you can't. So don't worry about it no more. Just put it out of your mind. Go to UFO Paranormal Radio. Yeah. Well, because I'm trying to get y'all trained over there. We had a good chat room going on United Public until someone over there at YouTube had heart failure about something. But actually, Marcus, I'm becoming anti-YouTube. I gotta be honest with you. I'm slowly but surely becoming anti-YouTube. I used to think it's a bunch of BS, but having to deal with it myself has taught me that it is not. Oh no, there's other places. We're still on YouTube, but we're going to be on BitTube and other places besides that. But anyway, what was your question? Before I see you scrolled up so much I can't see it anymore. Copy and paste it. What single piece of equipment could get rid of a possession or a ghost? No, it's not the same thing. A ghost is a ghost. A possession is a possession. So, what piece of equipment could get rid of a ghost out of your house? Is it hostile, non-hostile? It's just a ghost. So you got Casper floating around in your house. Is that what you're
Mm.
telling me?
I don't
Ah,
think that there's a specific piece of
No.
equipment that can do that. Your mindset can do that for the
Yes.
most part. Retraining yourself. Acknowledgement is empowerment. I always say it. You are in control. You just have to say what you mean what you say, follow through,
you
and
are what you haunt. I mean, or what you eat. Sorry.
that's loaded.
Yes,
So,
we'll just leave that all together.
a whole other show.
Uh, that's pretty much what that is. Oh, well, I agree with them. I don't think there is one piece of equipment other than your brain. I have to agree. I don't think there is one.
Angels. I work with angels. I
What?
pray
Oh,
with angels.
so
Mhm.
you're asking me about paranormal equipment? So you mean like spells or wands or talismans? Is what you're asking, right? Okay,
Uh,
that's not
But it's
equipment. That's
still
a whole
mindset.
different thing. It
It's
is still
still
yeah.
mindset.
mindset. You still have to believe in the spell and put merit into it. You have, even when you're doing a cleansing yourself, if you don't put any power behind the words that you're using, or if you don't have strong intention behind the act of the cleansing itself, it's going to be completely futile.
Okay.
Right. Right.
Julia says anytime that she gets a ghost or she tries to get him out of the house, she always feels exhausted for days afterwards.
They drain you.
Yes, they do. Yes. Yes.
So, do you feel? Let me ask you this: do you feel drained when it's there all the time, or is it just after you got rid of it? So, over a period of time, you feel better. Okay, that makes sense. I'm just asking. I didn't want you to get confused there because you were
Some
definitely
spirits are
confused.
really draining, non-human entities for sure. But I've seen myself at investigations where I feel exhausted and really thirsty, really dry. And the further
Really?
away I get from that location, I start to wake up a little bit, and then you just obviously quench your thirst with lots of water. But did you find that too, Sean?
Yeah. Yeah. But it's not drink. It's food. I
Oh,
get really, really hungry, and
right.
uh, and if I'm really tired, I have to go get. And this is the truth. I have to get chocolate chip pancakes. That
Is that a
that
bad
is
choice?
my that
That's a
is
good
my
reason.
food. That's my to-go food to have chocolate chip pancakes.
I
Is
like
when I
it.
go clear out of house. Yes.
We, we,
I
we,
like
we,
it.
we now know that Sean is being possessed by a 12-year-old. So let's move on. It's no, I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing.
I like it.
I have the same problems, but sometimes
I
it's
need
not
that kind of
chocolate.
advice.
So sometimes I need banana pancakes. So we got the same issue, I see. But
Mm.
uh, don't even get me started on that because I was in Mobile. I mean, not Mobile. I was in Gulf Shores, Alabama yesterday. I was in Pensacola, Florida, house shopping, but I was in on the way home. We came through Alabama. They got this great little restaurant down. It's just a little diner, is what it is. Man, they make the best waffle I've ever eaten in my whole life, and I've eaten a lot of waffles all the time. Man, but the problem is now every time I buy this place, I'm not hungry. I'm like, man, I just want to buy one, throw it in my back seat, and bring it home with me. But this place has got a weird. It's like a '50s setup diner, right? And so you can tell the place is new because of where it's at. But it's set up like an old '50s diner. Well, it has that. Maybe the jukebox is haunted
That's
because
Maybe.
possible.
it's original. So you get this sense of like people walking through or something watching you. A couple of times I heard people talk about they thought they saw someone dancing. And there
Mm.
is a dance floor in there, and sometimes the seats have fronts of cars on. Sometimes the lights will come on the front of cars. They're not supposed to, by the way, but they do.
Hmm.
Nobody, the guy who owns the place, he has no idea why it does it, but um, it's an interesting place. Just a restaurant is all it is. But anything along the Gulf South is weird anyway because you never know, how old the land was right there. What was on there ahead of time. Was there a boogeyman place there? Was there a graveyard? They're famous for burying over old graveyards and Indian
All
burial
over the
grounds.
world for the most
Yeah,
part.
so I mean, you just never know for sure what the hell it is that you might be around.
Hmm.
Kind of bites when it's like that, but what can you do? I mean, it's progress. Yes, it's progress. Oh, people. Well, no. See, it's different down here, Jessica. I'm sorry, because we have above ground graveyards, so it's a little bit harder to not notice there's a graveyard there. No, it's big
Oh,
mass. Not like it's just headstones. It's these big, massive graves. These people spend lots of money.
Mausoleums.
Yeah. Well, they got mausoleums, and then they got mini mausoleums, and they got big
Mm.
ones and small ones. But basically, what these are is they build these depending on how much money they got, and you can tell which families have the most. They'll build these rooms. They'll be 30 feet long, 20-foot high, two
Hmm.
stories tall,
wow.
and they're all marble or granite.
Hmm.
Beautiful angel statues on them, beautiful gremlins, whatever they may have on. They're just gorgeous. That's why they call it the city they did, because when you're walking through it, it looks like a little mini city, like one of the Japanese cities you'd see that Godzilla was stomping on. You know how they downsize them. It kind of looks like that when you're in it, except for everything's several hundred years old. And
I like gargoyles.
yeah,
I do
they got
too.
lots of them
They're
too.
cool. Yes,
Well,
yes.
they had a business going on down here for a decade until the cops caught them. They were going in the cemetery, stealing all these statues and selling them and making bank on them.
No, you
Uh,
would for sure. That's why you have to make them so heavy you can't move them. I have
yeah,
a big cast iron gargoyle. The thing weighs a darn ton. Good luck trying to take that sucker.
yeah, that's like
Well,
Kathy's 1,000-pound
And it's in
crystal.
the house. It's like, yeah.
So I still get this image stuck in my head, by the way. So Kathy has two big crystals. She got 1,000-pound crystal and a 750-pound crystal. She lives on top of a hill in Hawaii somewhere, by the ocean. So somehow the 750-pound one escaped, rolled down the hill, and smashed into the side of her car.
Oh my God.
whoa.
I'm still.
Wow.
She won't tell me how it escaped. I'm like, this big crystal. What did it get
How
up,
does
move on its own?
how does one crystal that big escape, so to
I
speak?
think. I think it was trying to move itself. All that quartz.
Or could be get enough energy. Hawaii is crazy too.
Yeah,
Like very,
and I think she said it
very
was.
active. Great energy.
Yeah, I think she said that one was a smoky quartz.
All quartz crystals are, it's like a double-edged sword. It can protect you, but it also absorbs energy as well.
Yeah, it
So
does.
it
Right.
can basically drain you
Yep.
if you
It
have
can.
one?
It can go two ways for sure. Most
How do you
people use
know?
it for protection and for, to amplify your energy so it protects, but it can, I mean, if you have quartz under the house,
Mhm.
like people that I know, it does amplify everything and it attracts other things. Like I think that's part of the reason the house is so active.
Okay. Okay.
There's,
That's interesting.
Well,
yeah.
them crazy people who live in Arkansas, like in Denham Springs, not Denham Springs. What is it? Hot Springs. This place is great. It's great. Got great springs in it. Got all kind of great water all over the place. There's so much crystal that people have chunks. I mean, like this, massive
Oh,
chunks,
nice.
and they line their front yard and around their house with it. So they'll
Oh, wow.
touch it,
Uh,
and there'll be several different kinds of quartz. Beautiful, massive crystals, and they'll have geodes, mixed in and cut. Oh, we got a frog that's going to join us tonight. Well, hello, Mr. Frog. Get out of here. See, he's
Trying to hone in on the airtime.
He's possessed. It's a possessed
it's
frog.
a-
People, you see things I got to deal with possessed frogs. I mean,
Frog wants his airtime. Give it to him.
I know, I'm gonna send his ass a bill. Is what I'm gonna send him. Say, look there, Mr. Frog. Where's your dues at, buddy? Get on the dues here. Yeah,
but
no, actually, he's been in this window all day. We've been trying to catch his ass.
We've come across a lot of places that have had quartz underground, and it amplifies the activity,
Okay.
like tremendously, which makes it really hard for clearing people because let's face it, you can't just go dig out all the quartz. So
Right.
then it's a real mindset thing at that point. I mean, this house is just as guilty of it. There's all kinds of it, and it attracts, I think, ET as much as it does spirits.
Yeah, high energy.
What
always does.
part of Canada are you from? May I ask?
I've just relocated to the Niagara region,
Okay.
and yeah, it's really active. Mind you, anywhere I've ever lived has been really active. But I lived about 45 minutes north of here. Been there for the last 30 years. But Ontario, basically.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm from Pennsylvania.
I love Pennsylvania. It's probably
Thank you.
one of my most favorite states. I
Thank
love
you.
Pennsylvania. Oh, my pleasure. I love it. I have a friend there who owns a haunted hotel in
Which one?
Linesville,
Okay.
Pennsylvania, the Knickerbocker Hotel. And,
Yeah, been there.
yeah, that's great. Peg is just like
Yeah.
amazing. She's really, really within my inner circle. I adore her. But yeah, so just I've been to all kinds of places through Pennsylvania, and it's just like I've never been to one place that I don't love. I really do.
Thank you.
Oh, my
It
pleasure.
is beautiful,
It
beautiful,
is.
beautiful place.
It really is.
Well, now that it's a blue state, it won't be for long. Let's move on.
Okay.
I just thought I'd throw that in there, that little burn.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's a strange thing because you would think so. California, I can understand when you get to the heartland, so the middle of the country west. I can understand why there's not as much activity, except in like where natives live. But the East Coast and the lower part of South, because we've been here 300-400 years.
Yeah.
Been a lot of activity down here.
But a lot. Pennsylvania is really historically. I mean, it's rich with
we consider
pioneers and
we consider
Puritans
Pennsylvania.
yeah.
They're part
History
of
was made there.
Yeah,
many times.
They're considered part of the Upper East Coast, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
That there's a little cluster up there. It's got Maine, New Hampshire, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, Maryland, DC. That's all. Just the upper corridor is basically what it is. But in that little corridor, there are 62 million people living there.
Yeah.
In that little area. It's not that huge of an area. It's like a quarter the size of Texas. And it should just be one massive state is what it should be.
Because everything's big in Texas.
Yeah, Texas is crazy
big. Isn't that the motto? Everything's big in Texas.
Crossing Texas is actually a job. I mean,
why is that? Why is that, Joe?
Because it takes a minimum of a day to get across the bitch.
Wow.
You got, and it depends which way you go. Here goes our frog again. If you go
That's
interstate,
a frog. Is that seriously a frog? I used to have
frog.
a parrot that made that kind of noise.
Yeah, he's a frog. He's one of them.
Wow.
So weird. Now, y'all tell me what this means. So
sounds like a
For
cockatoo.
the first 3 years we owned this place, or the first 3 years we lived in this house, twice a year it would get covered in green and yellow frogs. So first time we ever pulled up here in the evening time, we were like, wow, did we get something on the house? It's green instead of blue. It was green frogs, completely covering the house.
Wow.
That's
and then for 3 years they did it. And then for 3 years they did, and 3 years they didn't. And then this year we started noticing they were coming back.
Oh.
And I have no idea what attracts them to that. I know in the beginning because there was nobody here, so there was never any air conditioner or heaters running. So it was whatever the temperature of the house was. But now, we live in it, so it's always climate control. It was weird. It was weird. The green frogs came in the spring, and the yellow frogs came in the fall. And I looked them up. I wanted to make sure it wasn't fucking poisonous because they were all over my damn house. And I just noticed it was funny because I was just telling you, that's weird. I haven't seen the frogs lately, and the green one jumped in the back door into the house. He's like, hell, here I am. I was like, and now there's one on my window going, nah, you shouldn't have said that, asshole.
So now you got a renegade frog in the house. Wow.
He's not even in the house. He's just sitting at the back window. He's actually that loud through a double insulated window.
Damn.
Wow. Let's get Fiona out there. She'll chase him off.
Well, Fiona's asleep, and she's like, I don't care about the damn frog. She's like, she's exhausted because she's been on the road. She was on the road all day yesterday. She's been road dogging it. And then we tell her we went to go get some niches for the show. And I said, we're going bye-bye. Boom, she's in the car. So we pull back in the house. She's looking around like, what kind of bye-bye is this? This ain't bye-bye. This is like, we went to the store. What the hell? Let me out of this car. She was not a happy dog, man. She's like, I thought we was going bye-bye. This is not bye-bye. This is some other stuff.
Now I like the car and I expect to be.
Yeah, well, I just got to get her over that, huffing for 2 hours. But the other stuff worked good, but it didn't work long. She got over it real fast. So the next one is the rescue remedy. Sorry, guys, this ain't about ghosties, but I got a dog that likes to hyperventilate when we're driving. So,
oh wow,
rescue remedy works good.
Yeah, so
or CBD for pets.
That's the next one on the list we're going to try.
Most pet stores have it.
We're getting her a stroller for going in and out of places.
Well,
she stays.
If she stays in the basket, she's been in like 7 or 8 baskets, and she'll get all cute, and everyone wants to look at her and stuff. And she's not like Mother two; she won't bite you. But if I get too far, because we were in Lowe's parking lot, and Linda was behind me, and I was walking a little faster to go unlock the car, I got too far ahead. She leaped out of the basket into the parking lot and was hauling ass for Daddy.
I got to zip her in.
Yeah, so traffic. So now that's why we're getting one of those, so she can't get out. because she had no
Huh.
qualms at jumping down and running. I'm like, sweetie dog, we're in the middle of Lowe's parking lot, big trucks all over the place. I'm like, what are you, crazy dog? You'll end up squished, is what you'll end up. And I don't even think she even thought she was in any trouble. That's the scary part.
Mm.
And she's weird, like when something gets in the house. So I don't think she's ever dealt with a ghost because we've never been anywhere there's ghosties in the house. Whatever's in the house right now is probably not a ghost. It's something else, but it's I mean, it's possible it could somehow we could have bought
Probably a
something.
dang alien.
What what did you send them, Michelle? What did you send them?
Oops, was I
That is-
thinking out loud?
Hey, I'm gonna send you.
Thinking? Yeah, I was just thinking.
Don't mess with me. I will have you probed.
Good luck. They like me now.
Yeah, it don't matter if they like you or not. They owe me favors.
I've
Come to
done
think
the
about
whole
it, they
I've
owe
done
me
the whole
lots of
house up.
favors.
I've done the whole house up now, so they're nice and comfortable
You know,
because everything's dark for them.
It's funny. I was giving a lecture in Laughlin, and I still remember Walt Anderson said, "Joe, you shouldn't say that. You send them to your house." I said, "Why?" He said, "You can't do that." I said, "Really? Okay, Walt." I said, "Call me tomorrow night after you have an event." He's like, "What?" I said, "Just call me." He's like, "You're so full." I said, "Whatever, don't." I said, "You know what? We're still going to be here." I said, "You'll have the event in the hotel room." He's like, "No." So 2 o'clock in the morning, his hotel room lit up with brilliant bright white light. And he found 4 puncture marks on his right arm and 3 on his left arm, but there was no cut, no blood. They were just puncture marks. They were completely healed, but you could feel them. I said, "You ready to be regressed?" He said, "You really said?" He said, "There was yeah, I can't use the language you use. Did you send?" I said, "I didn't believe you." He said, "I do now." He said, "But I didn't then." I said, "Well, I can't guarantee they're always going to come." I said, "But you'd be surprised. A lot of times when you ask, they have no qualms and
Yep.
going screwing with some humans."
Y'all just have to take my approach. Just relax, ease into it.
They,
So,
yeah. Last time I see Michelle on the ship, she was sipping a cocktail. So I was like, "Well, how do you get a cocktail on board the ship? What the hell, great guy? You better go find me one now."
whatever. See, fringe benefits because I just catered the house so it's nice and comfortable. I get the cocktails, not you.
Yeah. I always get the crazy people. So I always get.
Yeah, there you go.
It's
But it's very different. A lot of people, it's funny, Sean, I don't know if you've encountered this, but when I do cases that have alleged demonic activity, they also have a lot of extraterrestrial presences there. Like people have witnessed grays on site, and allegedly they can use the same portals. Have you ever come across that?
No, not at all. I nothing with extraterrestrials. No, this
Wow. Yeah.
nothing. But
Because
that I can think about the next time I have to go to a place like that. I'm going to ask them if they've seen any UFOs or ETs. I'm not afraid to ask. Yeah,
I've probably had at least. Yeah, I've done a lot of cases in 18 years, but I bet you a quarter of them have had sightings of grays, and they hear the
Wow.
same sort of sounds, like
Okay.
clicking, clacking, tearing, knocking, but not the traditional knocking. It's just odd little. It almost sounds like dimensional, like something's trying to come through. It's very strange, or
Huh.
when they're asleep, they'll wake up and they'll see them, and it's like, oh my gosh, okay.
Mhm.
So curiosity, I thought I'd put it out there.
I'm glad you did. Now I have something to ask.
I
something to look
I
for.
learned to start asking because when it started happening more often, I'm just like, you know what? It's definitely, there are some researchers that don't believe in angels and demons. They just think everything's extraterrestrial. There's some that go the other way. But in my experience of working with people, they have seemed to have characteristics from both.
Right. Okay. Nah, I'm glad you mentioned that. Now I can dwell into that a little bit more. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. It's always nice to see if anybody else is getting the same thing, But coming across more people who research who have come across the same thing, it's like, okay, well, I'm glad it's not just happening in Canada.
Crystal, where are you writing in from? Illinois, Chicago. Oh, hello. Where you from? Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
There we go.
So what the hell are you
Sean.
doing? Before we get into your question, what the hell are you doing in Illinois? I've been to Illinois. Now, don't get me wrong. Chicago's a great city. If you
I
can put up
love
with
it there.
with some of its some of its eccentricities.
I like going to Schaumburg because it's got a very big
It's
mall. Very
you know,
big
it's
mall.
it's an interesting place. No, well, friends of mine were stationed at Great Mistakes. Yeah,
I went
in
to I
Illinois.
went to boot camp here.
Did you? Yeah, yeah.
Yes, I did.
That's where my business partner went to boot camp at the Great Mistake.
Yeah,
He hated it there. Well, it
yeah,
was snowing. You know, it was snowing. It's what off when he was there too. He's from the deep south. He's like,
right.
so he said dig our way out to go exercise. And I said,
Yes,
that's
yes. Well, I stepped off the plane. It was 40, no, the bus, 40 below
oh
zero,
yeah, it's
dude. It was
crazy.
that freaking
It's
cold.
crazy.
Wow.
See,
Ah,
he wanted to go to San Diego. That's where they sent me. I wanted to go to Orlando because that's where the waves were. That's where I
right.
wanted to be. I wanted to be with the waves. And no, people, not the water waves. Don't even be stupid. Whoever wrote that's not what I was talking about. I wanted to be with the waves because we had sister companies. They had dances. They had dances and parties. We getting that crap in San Diego. Yeah, we had dances with the Marines next door. It's like, come on. Plus, our boot camp was longer too. That really bit. We had 16 weeks. They had 8 or 10. I was like, what? I was like,
We had
man,
8.
yeah. Well, I was in 12 weeks when I got picked up as Special Forces, and I went and spent 6 months with them. And then I
Okay.
decided I didn't want to kill anybody, so I spent another 2 months. This is real quick, people, if you ever do this. So it was 8 months of training, 3 months of detraining before they would release me back in regular duty.
Oh,
And when people would get kicked out of boot camp, we wouldn't just let them go either. We would send them to basically like a detox for 4 weeks before we'd cut them loose to go home. Because, your brain gets a certain way when you're in the military. You're being trained to think
yep.
a certain way and to act a certain way. And I was being trained to really mess people up and to do things that you would not normally do. And I had a real good head for it. And they only picked me up because on the shooting day, on our third shooting day, it was my shooting day. And I qualified on all 3 rifles, M14, M16, and M1. 20 for 20 at 100 yards, 20 for 20 at 200 yards, and 20 for 20 at 500 yards. So
Damn.
they're like, yeah, come on.
Badass.
I grew up in the
Wow.
bayou. I
Good.
grew up in the bayou hunting deer off a horseback with a bow, man. Come on. So to me, it was child's play. And most of my friends who came in that were from the South, they qualified pretty high too. So, but they offered me that, and then they found out my weird thing with electronics, and they offered me to go in, and I did. I was enjoying it. I was learning all kind of stuff. Besides learning how to kill people 50 different ways with any little thing you could find, infiltration skills. But some of the other things they were teaching me, advanced surveillance, advanced electronics, a lot of weird stuff. And but the problem for me is I just didn't want to be a killer, and I knew, and I taught, and my commander was blatant about this. Like I said, it was about 8 months in. He just sat me down. He said, Joe, I said, I know you'll kill somebody if you have to. He said, I can see that much into you. He said, but you're not a killer and you really don't want to be one. He said, maybe you should think about a reassignment on your OS.
I think you're in competition with the frog.
Yes, Mr.
Yeah.
Frog. Stop it, Frog. And anyway, long story short, I changed my OS and got into advanced avionics and advanced electronics. And then I went to my after schools, which is very advanced.
Wow.
But, it's that's though. See, that's what's so weird. So when I got in the SEALs training, I got what they call a Class 5 security clearance. This is pretty high, but not unreasonable. And I still remember this. So when I switched out OSs and I was qualifying to be on the Nimitz to work in the reactor room on electronics and all these jets, fighter equipment, missiles, guidance. So the guy comes back. He said, Joe, your security clearance has to be impeccable. He said, you're going to be like a class 10. He said, that's higher than most of the freaking presidents get. He said, because you're going to be in the conning tower of the largest naval ship ever built. He said, you're going to be in its reactor room and you're going to work on every jet that we've ever made. He said, yeah, dude. He said, they're going to make sure your clearance is like you wouldn't believe clearance. So, and it was so weird because I didn't really think about it. Even when they told me that, I didn't think about it. So like 6 months later, 8 months later after that, when I qualified, I said, okay, everything was great. Well, I got home. All my friends were freaking out. My family was freaking out. FBI came to the house, talked to my mom, talked to my friends, talked to my cousin, went and talked to all kind of people. All together, they interviewed over 300 people who knew me.
Wow.
300. I was like stunned. And then I didn't even think about it. And then doing Katrina, I was working for an FBI agent. I was remodeling his condo, and he was a forensic expert. And he calls me up one day. He said, just before I hired you, I did a background check on you. I said, yeah, it doesn't surprise me. You work for the FBI. He said, I got a question for you. I'm like, well, he said, why do they do a background check on you? For you? Are you like a terrorist or something? I said, no, I just got this insanely high security clearance. And I said, and I do know things that, I shouldn't know, or I should know that I'm not allowed to talk about. I said, but it's, I said, that's all it is. Because people hear it because it's so high. Everybody just assumes like, oh, well, he knows all about ET. He knows about this. I know a lot about a lot of things. And I'm told a lot of things because they know I'm not going to break my clearance because I don't want to go to prison. But it's nothing. Put this in perfect perspective. I had a congressman 6 years ago tell me so, a senator, because he called me up because of another guy I dealt with 15 years ago. He said, look, I know I looked you up. Everything's on the up and up. I seen what your clearance is. Well, I see you're in good standing. He said, so I can tell you this. And something that had been bothering me that I thought the government doing, I wasn't sure about. He confirmed it. Well, it doesn't do me any good because I can't tell you or him or anybody else about it. I'm scared to talk about it. Even if we were face to face, I'd be scared to talk about it.
Right.
Because it's a good chance that somebody's listening somewhere. And it's not that I think they're out to get me, because if they wanted me, I have talked about shit. Obviously, I've been threatened about the alien agenda more times than once. I've had my family threatened. I've had friends threatened. I've had them threaten my family and friends to me, because I still remember the guy when I came off the roof that day, them two guys, whatever they were, in their little gray Armani suits and their white SUV. These guys are wearing like $5,000 suits, high-end weapons. Everything is expensive. The one ring the guy was wearing was definitely this weird glowing blue meteorite shit. This shit's like $25,000 an ounce. The vehicle they're in is I think it was a full-blown Escalade, fully loaded. Damn, $70,000. I'm like, what the hell? Who are you people? And I knew they weren't government. I knew they had power. But you could tell by the way they acted and they addressed it. At one point or another, they served with some branch somewhere, FBI or CIA or something. But they had power. But I tell you what, he told me point blank. He said, I'm not going to threaten you because I know it's not going to do any good. He said, you've been threatened before. He said, that's not enough. He said, one, if they don't carry it out, the threat's useless anyway. He says, I'm just going to tell you. And that's when he proceeded to tell me where Linda was at the moment, what she was doing. I mean, to the moment. Like there was someone watching her while we were talking. He knew where my son was, what my son was doing in school. He knew what time he got home. He knew what time he got on a bus. It was just too much. So I said, look, we'll leave the agenda alone for now. It was all over a conversation I had with Alfred Weber. I mean, they actually brought the net down that the night before, but it was all over that. I mean, I struck a nerve with the alien agenda. And, because for the most part, they have several agendas, and just one of the agendas is not exactly conducive for all humans. It's not anti-human, but it's just not conducive for all humans. Some humans, I'm not going to say this politely, are just not going to make the cut. And so as far as they're concerned, they think they're doing the right thing. So if they wipe out 5 billion of us to keep 2 billion of us, as far as they're concerned, they're doing the right thing. So. Now, as a human that might be one of the 5 billion that might get wiped out, I'm a little pissed off about it. But I'm older, so if I go now, it's not that big of a deal. I've had a pretty decent life so far. So, Clara, we got to get out of here. Who? What? Michelle? What? She is a Canadian Elvira. Yes, she is. I call her that all the time.
Elvira.
Yeah, the Canadian Elvira. Actually, I thought the first Elvira was from Canada, but we're not going to go there.
Cassandra Peterson.
Yeah, I thought she was originally from Canada. So, no, I'm pretty sure I ain't going to argue with y'all about Elvira. Okay, it ain't even October yet. And I got my own personal Elvira right here, so we're not going to argue about it. Oh, no, Bubbles is an alien. She's my gray alien, yes.
Oh, man.
Poor
girl.
Yes,
oh, my God.
Actually, Sean, next time you're on with, I'm going to pull this video up and we'll show you. So she sent me this video. We got like 2 seconds. She sent me this video, and it's this thing in her TV. It's a reflection in her TV, and it's weird, like energy beam, bluish thing with sparkles in it. You can tell it's some kind of human thing. It's her reflection.
Oh, wow.
So she must not have her costume or outfit on or whatever, her human suit on, because it's a reflection. When she sent it to me, I was sitting there, I said, you are so busted. I didn't post
You are just like on crack.
No, I'm serious. Y'all think I'm playing? I am serious as
I'm
can be.
sticking to that like there's nobody's business. Just saying.
Anyway, y'all be sure to check out Sean on Thursdays on Chasing Profit. Be sure to see Michelle on Wednesdays and Thursday. Actually, you got two of the best Thursday hosts right here. There's only one host missing on
Thank you.
Thursdays tonight. Um,
Thank you.
no. Jenny hosts with Sean. No, you
Yeah.
confused. No. Sean and Jenny host on the same show with Jason.
Jenny's
Yeah.
the blonde one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Those
Jenny's
are
the
confused.
blonde.
Jenny's the blonde one.
She's like, we host with her.
Yeah, they host with her. She the boss. Oh yeah, no, she the boss.
She's the boss. She's the boss.
And then Michael follows them with Red Pill News, and then Michelle and Amelia back them up for the closing show. So technically, Jenny and Sean and Jason are the opener for that day, and Michelle and Amelia are the closing for that day.
That's
No, we
cool.
don't count. We don't count Spaced Out Radio because they're 11 to 2 a.m. So they're not really the closer. They're more like whoever's still awake and high or listening to them. I'm just saying. It's just the wee hours of the morning, people. And if it's you're talking about the UK, it's like 6 a.m. Come on. Even if you were listening, you're probably like, what? Oh no, I love Dave. Dave's another Canadian host. No, I love Dave. Yeah. I pick on Dave. No, Dave knows because I pick on him all the time. I don't mind. Well, we got a hair thing going because I ain't got nothing here, but I got some way back down here. He ain't got nothing back here, but he got like a puff up here. So it's just a thing, people. Don't worry about it. But anyway, we got to get out of here. Be sure to catch me on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, and Saturdays. Yes, Michelle and I are on Saturday. You can still catch the shows on Sundays, and you can find them starting this week, and they will all be available on Podbean. They will not be available on YouTube until YouTube says they can be available on YouTube. It's nothing to do with me, people. It's nothing to do with Michelle. It's YouTube. And once YouTube clears us to put it monetized, they'll be there and available for y'all, but not until. And I can't just start a new page and monetize them because you got to have 1,000 friends and 4,000 hours. So and it takes still, even when you got that, it usually takes them a month and a half to monetize a page. So don't be in a hurry. We're not going anywhere. We're all here. Everybody's in good health. Everybody's having fun. And we got to go now because Horseshoe Chronicles are coming up with Phil and Julia Syracusa. And all these Dago names on this station.
Also from Pennsylvania.
Buddy,
yes,
I'm
more
Irish.
Pennsylvanians. Yeah, more.
Yes.
We're being taken over by Canadians and Pennsylvanians. Oh,
Damn straight, brother.
There we go.
It's an invasion of the North, people. It's an invasion of the North. But that no later than when we got to go. So stay tuned for Horsefly Chronicles, and we'll see y'all in 5. Good night, everybody.
Night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Night, John. Night, Joe.